Long ago, a poor woodcutter lived in a forest. Long ago, a poor woodcutter lived in a forest. He had two children, Hansel and Gretel. He had two children, Hansel and Gretel. They did not have enough food to eat. They did not have enough food to eat. One day, the parents took them deep into the woods. One day, the parents took them deep into the woods. Hansel dropped small white stones on the path. Hansel dropped small white stones on the path. They followed the stones and found their way home. They followed the stones and found their way home. Next time, Hansel only had breadcrumbs to drop. Next time, Hansel only had breadcrumbs to drop. Birds ate the crumbs, and the children got lost. Birds ate the crumbs, and the children got lost. They walked for a long time in the dark forest. They walked for a long time in the dark forest. Suddenly, they saw a very strange house. Suddenly, they saw a very strange house. The walls were made of delicious chocolate. The walls were made of delicious chocolate. The roof was covered with sweet candy. The roof was covered with sweet candy. The children started to eat the sweet walls. The children started to eat the sweet walls. An old woman opened the door and smiled. An old woman opened the door and smiled. "Come inside, little children," she said kindly. "Come inside, little children," she said kindly. But the old woman was actually a mean witch. But the old woman was actually a mean witch. She locked Hansel in a small iron cage. She locked Hansel in a small iron cage. She wanted to cook him and eat him. She wanted to cook him and eat him. Gretel had to do all the heavy housework. Gretel had to do all the heavy housework. Every day, the witch checked Hansel's finger. Every day, the witch checked Hansel's finger. She wanted to see if he was fat enough. She wanted to see if he was fat enough. Hansel held out a thin bone instead. Hansel held out a thin bone instead. The witch was angry because he was still thin. The witch was angry because he was still thin. Finally, she decided to heat up the oven. Finally, she decided to heat up the oven. "Check if the fire is hot," she told Gretel. "Check if the fire is hot," she told Gretel. Gretel knew the witch wanted to push her in. Gretel knew the witch wanted to push her in. "I don't know how to do it," Gretel said. "I don't know how to do it," Gretel said. The witch got mad and leaned into the oven. The witch got mad and leaned into the oven. Quickly, Gretel gave her a big push. Quickly, Gretel gave her a big push. The witch fell in, and Gretel shut the door. The witch fell in, and Gretel shut the door. Gretel ran to the cage and freed her brother. Gretel ran to the cage and freed her brother. They found a box full of gold and jewels. They found a box full of gold and jewels. They filled their pockets with the treasure. They filled their pockets with the treasure. Then, they ran away as fast as they could. Then, they ran away as fast as they could. Soon, they found a familiar path in the woods. Soon, they found a familiar path in the woods. They saw their father's house from far away. They saw their father's house from far away. Their father was so happy to see them. Their father was so happy to see them. He had missed them every single day. He had missed them every single day. They showed him all the gold they found. They showed him all the gold they found. They lived happily together ever after. They lived happily together ever after.
喜欢这支影片的话，帮我按个赞，订阅频道，也欢迎分享出去，让更多人一起学。谢谢你的支持。